The Killer Who Fooled the World, Scared Face, Jack uncover the darkest crimes, shocking mysteries, and real-life investigations. Welcome to Fame Files, Part, where truth is more terrifying than fiction. Fame Files cover all the true crime stories of the whole world with you on this channel. Stay connected with us and keep watching daily true crime stories on Fame Files. Jack Unterweger, the killer who fooled the world. Jack Unterweger was more than just a killer. He was a con artist, a manipulator, and a man who convinced the world he had changed, only to commit even darker crimes. His story is one of deception, murder, and betrayal, spanning decades and continents. How did this convicted murderer not only walk free but also become a celebrated author, only to kill again? Act 1, A Troubled Beginning. Narrator. Born in 1950 in Austria, Jack Unterweger's life began in hardship. Abandoned by his mother, he was raised by an alcoholic grandfather in a life of crime and neglect. By his teenage years, Unterweger was already committing violent offenses. Then, in 1974, his crimes escalated. Narrator. Unterweger brutally strangled 18-year-old Margaret Schaefer with her own bra. It was a horrific crime, and in 1976, he was sentenced to life in prison. But what happened next shocked the world. Act 2, The Great Deception. Behind bars, Unterweger seemed to transform. He became a poet, an author, and a symbol of rehabilitation. His autobiography, Purgatory or the Trip to Jail, Report of a Guilty Man, was hailed as a masterpiece. Intellectuals, politicians, and even journalists campaigned for his release, believing he was a changed man. Clips of Austrian TV interviews from the 1980s. Narrator. In 1990, after serving just 15 years, Unterweger was released. He became a celebrity, touring Europe, writing crime stories, and even working as a journalist covering unsolved murders. But as police would soon discover, he was committing the very crimes he reported on. Act 3, The Murders begin again. Shortly after his release, sex workers in Austria began disappearing. Then their bodies turned up, strangled, their bras used as garrotes. The same method Unterweger had used years before. But it wasn't just Austria. Murders followed in Czechoslovakia, and even in the United States. Narrator. In 1991, Unterweger traveled to Los Angeles to write about crime. While there, 3 sex workers were murdered in the same brutal fashion. He was even given a tour of crime scenes by the LAPD, completely unaware they were escorting the very man responsible for the killings. Act 4, The Chase and Capture. Investigators finally connected the dots. A pattern emerged. Wherever Unterweger traveled, women turned up dead. By the time Austrian authorities realized the truth, he had fled. Narrator. The chase spanned multiple countries. Eventually, in 1992, he was captured in Miami, Florida. Extradited to Austria, he was put on trial for 11 murders. This time, he wouldn't escape justice. Act 5, The final act. In 1994, Unterweger was found guilty. Sentenced to life in prison once again, he made one final move. Hours after his conviction, he hanged himself in his cell using a rope fashioned from his prison uniform. A chilling echo of the way he killed his victims. Conclusion. Jack Unterweger fooled the world. He turned a life sentence into celebrity status, gaining the trust of writers, politicians, and even the police. But in the end, his lies unraveled. His story serves as a warning. Some people don't change. They just get better at hiding their true nature. This has been True Crime Stories on Fame Files. Subscribe for more stories of deception, crime, and justice.